Notes from Greenelsh, number 144. Face the future stronger. Crises can cripple you or make you stronger. Unfortunately, I feel like the United States is weakening in a time that it could be getting stronger. This deterioration has been going on for several years, but globalists, foreign competitors, and corrupt leaders have taken advantage of the current pandemic to accelerate their agendas to seize power. I don't see this destructive movement slowing down unless more citizens realize this and act to uphold the rights and freedoms America was founded on. Here are some key factors that seem to be contributing to America's demise. Although these factors are affecting the United States as a whole, a nation is made of individual people. So I encourage you to reflect on your own life in relation to these factors. I will share not only 3 key problems, but also what you can do with God's help to address each factor in order to become stronger instead of weaker. The first factor is pride and arrogance. The United States is a great and compassionate country, but we also face many problems. If we try to solve them in our own strength and wisdom, we will fail. Over the years, our success has not come solely from grit, sacrifice, innovation, and resourcefulness. It has primarily come as a blessing from God when we corporately and individually rely on Him. Each of us needs to trust and obey God. Then His forgiveness, restoration, wisdom, goodness, power, and protection become a reality in our lives. In what ways are you proud, stubborn, or self-reliant? Do you recognize your need for God? His way is infinitely better than your way. Here is some advice from God, which each of us should take to heart. In Proverbs it says, "Commit to the Lord whatever you do, and He will establish your plans." Pride goes before destruction, a haughty spirit before a fall. And James says, "God opposes the proud, but shows favor to the humble. Submit yourselves then to God. Resist the devil, and he will flee from you. Come near to God, and He will come near to you." And in Psalm 31 it says, "Love the Lord, all His faithful people. The Lord preserves those who are true to Him, but the proud He pays back in full. Be strong and take heart, all you who hope in the Lord." The second factor is ignorance and apathy. The news we are bombarded with daily contains more bad than good. I know some people who have even stopped listening because it's so distressing and discouraging. Other people are too busy to stay on top of current events or global awareness. And still others don't concern themselves with things that they feel they can't do anything about, or things that don't affect them directly. It's understandable that everyone manages information and engages in different ways. Yet ignorance and apathy can blind us to threats, render us vulnerable to attacks, and prevent us from making a difference. How do you decide what to attend to? Each of us should imitate God's involvement. He is not ignorant nor apathetic. He cares. He knows, and He's personally engaged. He loves the world so much that He sent His Son, Jesus, to become a man, live among us, and show us how to experience true, everlasting life. Jesus understood His times identified with people in need, and enabled them to be transformed from the inside out. He calls anyone who follows him to lovingly do the same by his grace and power. He commissions us to seek and to save the lost, to be salt and light. He wants us to be watchful and to be in the world but not of the world. He sends us out like sheep among wolves and warns us to be shrewd as snakes and as innocent as doves. He said to take care not to be led astray and to be wary of hypocrisy and false teaching. With the time and talents we have been given, believers should use them productively in helping others to find and follow Jesus and to prepare for his return. A third factor that weakens Americans is self-indulgence. It's a popular trap because we have access to so much that means so little. Many people spend their lives in vain pursuit of power, fulfillment, wealth, comfort, security, or pleasure. Tragically, at times it's even at the expense of others. There's little room left over for anyone but themselves or their family. Are you or your family more important than God in your life? Do you put yourself before others? In contrast, Jesus said life does not consist in the abundance of things. He warned not to store up temporary treasures on earth, but rather to store up eternal treasures in heaven. He proclaimed that following him is more important than family. He taught that the poor in spirit, the mournful, the meek, those who hunger and thirst for righteousness, the merciful, the pure in heart, the peacemakers, and those persecuted for righteousness are blessed. Jesus promoted self-denial as the only way to an abundant life. He commanded people to seek first the kingdom of God and his righteousness, and to love and serve God and others. The United States is being attacked internally and externally by people in countries who care more about themselves than they do about God and others. I pray that Americans turn back to God. But even if the majority of people don't, you must decide what you will do. Have you been living your life feebly backward? Have you been putting yourself first and God last? If so, you're operating from a point of weakness and won't be able to withstand a sustained assault on your God-given rights and freedoms. Even more importantly, in trying to save your life, you will lose it, because the wages of your sinful rebellion is death. Therefore, I implore you to rely on God. Alone you are weak, but with Jesus you are incredibly strong against whatever you may face.